Hey guys, it's your favorite rogue Chirpy here, and we are back with another weekly reset video. Gonna go head over and open our vault, see what we got. I don't have any raid vaults this week, but we're looking for boots still, a belt, bracers, an offhand maybe. Not really a lot of pieces that we still need, and also a cloak. So we have 3 pieces of 415. You can see it a little clearer if I go like this. There we go. So I got 415 belt, 415 boots, and 415 cloak. So ideally we replace one of those with the 421 today. We have 3 Mythic Plus options, and that is it. So chances are pretty low, but we'll see. No tertiaries either. Alright, well, this is a socket angle for this week, unfortunately. Kinda sucks. There's still a couple pieces that we need, so this is, like, worst option. But it is what it is, I guess. And we got a 25 Temple of the Jade Serpent key. Kind of rough key this week, but I think that it is doable.
Order guide you.
Alright, so let's take a look at what our weekly M+ affixes are. We have Sanguine, Volcanic, Fortified, Thundering. So this is a pretty decent push week, and what makes it a push week is that there's no affixes that really buff the mobs. So if you have really good Sanguine management, this is probably going to be one of the easiest weeks that you could possibly have for pushing up some keys. So let's open up our tier list maker and start going through them. So we'll start again always with Shadow Moon Burial Grounds. We're going to put that in S because again there's not a lot of trash. Things are easy to move when things die in there as well, so they're not sitting in sanguine puddles forever. Pretty easy key. We have Court of Stars. So Court of Stars I'm actually going to put into an A+ category. And the reason is, on the higher key levels, you usually end up pulling in enforcers with extra mobs, or the mini bosses with extra mobs, and sometimes those mobs are immobile. So when you pull the Inquisitors on top of the enforcers, for example, and you kill the Inquisitor in the middle of a Fel Detonation cast, that could put Sanguine underneath the Enforcer and just heal them right back up 10-20% during that Fel Detonation cast. So having really good preemptive Sanguine management, like knockbacks before the mob dies, is very important when you go into places where there's casters like Court of Stars, where they just don't move. Algathar Academy, I think that this is actually not as bad as people want to say it is this week. And the reason for that is because you could actually make a decent route without the giant Ravager dragons. And those are the main culprits of eating up Sanguine healing. So you could make a decent route for Algathar Academy where you don't have to deal with any of those big Sanguine, responsible mobs. So I think that this is still a decently hard key on the higher key levels, but if you're doing anything from under like a 22, 23, I think that as long as you have a route that doesn't go for the Ravagers, you don't really have to worry about Sanguine too much. So that's pretty decent key. We go to Azure Vaults. Azure Vaults I would also put in maybe like a B+ category. I think it's a little bit easier than Algathar Academy on Fortified. All that matters in Azure Vaults is that you get stops. Rotate stops on the packs, and things go down. There's not a lot of issues with Sanguine either. The mobs are pretty mobile. In the ring, you have a couple mobs that don't really move too much, like the Curators, but you can pull the rest of the pack off the Curators while those guys just sit there for 10 seconds casting their little swirly ability. So that's not too bad at all. Halls of Valor, I would put in probably like a B+ category, B+ A-. And the reason for this is that the mobs are pretty mobile in here. So you will get a lot, there is a decent amount of trash, and they will leave puddles behind. But on the bright side, everything moves. Like every single mob moves. So you can just, as long as you're kiting, you won't have to deal with Sanguine too bad. Ruby life pools, I'd put in like a C category probably this week, and the reason for this is there's a lot of immobile mobs. You have to deal with the Tempest Channelers, which deal a lot on Fortified as already. You have to deal with the Blazing Infernos, which deal a lot on Fortified already. And then when you kill mobs on top of them, and they get the extra Sanguine healing, that could just make for a very, very bad time. So when you're going into Ruby Life Pools, make sure that you have like a Druid or a Shaman or something along those lines to knock mobs back off of the mobile mobs before you kill them. It'll make a really big difference. Now, Coup Defensive, kind of the same deal as Ruby Life Pools. There's a lot of mobs that just stand there and cast, especially in like the Centaur area. So, again, try to be very proactive with your knocks and do it before the Sanguine comes out. Temple of the Jade Serpent, I'd probably put into like a B, very, very B level dungeon. And the reason for this one is the mobs already do a lot on Fortified. So your tank's going to be taking a lot of damage. You'll be taking a lot of damage on the first mob areas with the elementals. So you're already taking a lot of damage. Those mobs don't really move during their cast. They have the Tainted Ripple and the Surging Deluge as well. So you got to really, really, really be on top of where you kill mobs and make sure you're not extending the lifespan of anything as much as possible. Even in the area after the first boss, like when you go to the songbird and the fish, those guys stay pretty stationary a lot too, so you have to make sure you're always kiting the mobs out or pushing the mobs out before you kill anything, or you're going to end up having a really bad time just not being able to deal with the Sanguine healing. One last thing before I go, guys, a little tip that you can use on your rogue to make things a little bit easier for Sanguine. We don't have a knock, we don't have, you know, any displacement abilities. What we do have is the ability to turn off crippling poison. So if you have crippling poison on and it's on full time throughout your dungeon, you're probably going to end up running into a situation where mobs are slowly walking through Sanguine as you're killing them. And you can make this a little bit easier by turning off your crippling poison or running a different poison this week. So don't run crippling unless you absolutely have to, but make sure you turn it off when the Sanguine starts coming out. And that'll make a really big difference on the total amount of Sanguine healing that your group is having. Another thing that you want to do is try to kill mobs as evenly as possible and focus on the mobs that are, when they're being kited, focus on the ones that are in the back of the pack, not the ones that are closest to the tank, because the ones that are closest to the tank, if you kill them, and like if he's kiting away, you kill them and then they drop Sanguine, and then everything that's kiting behind walks through that Sanguine, gets healed 5-10%. Whereas the ones in the back of the pack, if you kill them and they drop Sanguine, there's nothing walking through them, so they're not taking any Sanguine healing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, if you did, like and subscribe. It's free for you, and it helps me out a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great push week. See you next time.